Hey guys, welcome back to Attorney Reacts with America's Attorney, me. Today we are reacting to We Need to See If You Are a Felon. Education is free today from the channel The Armed Fisherman. Ah yes, I too like to catch my fish with an AR-15. Let's get started. All right, nice cloudy day, probably good for fishing. I don't know.
What up, dude?
Cop.
I'm living that dream, man. Living that dream. Nice to meet you.
What you got going on?
Just going fishing.
All right. I see you got some weapons on you.
Yes, sir.
All right, you got ID on you? Because Florida's not an open carry state, man.
Oh man, they haven't taught you the law yet.
Well, we'll figure it out here, but just make sure
look
you
up.
don't grab your guns.
I'm not gonna grab my guns.
That's the main thing.
Look up. Are you ready? Yeah, you might need a pen for this to look up the law. 0.25, Section 3, subsection H. It is lawful for me to go while I'm fishing, hunting, or camping, and I can openly carry. How you doing?
Hi. Are you fishing?
I was on my way to fishing. I was just fishing over here, and then there's another little park right over here, right? And there's a little pond, and so I was gonna go fishing. I went fishing there. Now I'm gonna go fishing there. And
There's a lot of thinking going on right now.
do you know the same law that allows you to openly carry your firearm is the same statute that allows me?
I'm aware that if you're going hunting and stuff,
Yeah.
but you're in the middle of a city center here.
I know. I was going fishing.
All right.
What you want to do, or just all right? Let the guy.
I hear you. It's obviously.
You obviously, if you know the law, then what's the problem? What's the problem?
You're trying to push the boundary.
I'm not.
Of
But listen, I do this across the state of
I
Florida.
understand. I know.
I don't push boundaries. That's why I'm proving what I'm doing is lawful.
Okay.
And as long as you understand it's lawful, you should just respect the right. Did you swear an oath to the Florida Constitution, the United States Constitution, and the laws that inbound Florida? Yes or no? You didn't? And then where's the...
This is one of those videos. I get it. This guy is trying to teach the police a lesson, which, I mean, I'm in favor of because I want the police to know the law, but, oh, man.
problem? This is part of the law.
I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not
I'm just going to wait for you to call the sergeant and then we'll go from there, all right?
But why are you holding me here? What law did I break?
He doesn't have to have broken a law, right? The cop has to have reasonable suspicion that a law is being broken. So he doesn't have to know for sure right now. He just has to be a little suspicious. If he'll look at the statute, then his questions may be answered. On the other hand, just because someone is carrying a fishing pole doesn't mean that they're actually fishing. So this guy is not off the hook yet.
What law?
We're currently investigating.
What? You just said you knew about this law, about going and doing what... Well, technically, if you think about where I live compared to where we are right now, I am in the woods. This is the woods for me.
No, don't know what you mean.
I'm going to have to put this out and throw it away so I don't litter. You know what I mean? Oh, I ain't doing nothing like I follow the law. Hey, just make sure, if you're taking pictures, just don't make sure you're not going to delete those, because I'm going to get them. What was your name?
Hey, Sarge. Sabrina Caradonna.
Thank you. Look, guys.
Oh, more cops.
I'm not...
Wow.
Now this intimidation factor.
We're
just
up to
went
6.
It's like, come on, guys.
Sergeant, he's just trying to make a point.
I'm not trying to make nothing. I'm just going fishing, dude. What the point I'm trying to make is I'm going fishing.
All right, buddy.
You know what I mean? How many here know about the law about 790.25, Section 3, subsection H?
What is it again? 79.
You're shaking your head. Is that Guzman? You understand the law, right? Am I free to go or am I free to stay?
You got to hang out for a minute, man.
For what? He's nodding and telling you about the law. The same law that allows everyone here to openly carry their firearms is the same law that allows me to openly carry my firearms. So,
I mean, that's kind of true. It's kind of not true. He's operating under 790.253H, which says, and it actually does say, if you are on a hunting expedition or a fishing expedition and you are traveling to there or from there, you're allowed to openly carry. So the idea would be that he's either on a fishing expedition, or I think that would be kind of broadly interpreted to mean fishing, or on your way to fishing. So he's kind of right. Now, their subsection is not .25. And so it's actually a different law, but like it's in the same section of the code. This is fascinating. I'm kind of warming up to this fisherman guy. He's kind of reeled me in.
I'm sorry, I know I told you my name. What was your name?
Mike.
Mike? Hi,
Yeah.
Mike. I'm Sabrina.
Nice to meet you.
Do you have a driver's license or not registration, my apologies, an ID card?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to collect your information.
For what crime? 901-151.
Okay. You're actually open carry
I understand,
in the streets of Sanford, Florida,
Which is
okay?
completely lawful.
All right, Mike, what is it, Michael or is it Mike?
Get your sergeant, whoever.
Not a problem. 1412 to 101 or 102, you're being requested.
You guys swore an oath to defend this.
I'm going to interject right here and say that I think the only thing that these cops can do right now is find out if he has a fishing permit. If he has a legal fishing permit, then I think they can follow him to see if he actually is fishing or not. But I think that's really the end of it. I don't think they can stand him up here like this, not legally.
And then am I free to go?
But it's going to be concealed.
It doesn't. The Florida law. Okay, I'm going to break it down to you. Under 790.25, Section 3, subsection H. Well, we'll get to H, but
He says 8, but he means H. But maybe he's saying H, I don't know. But anyways, one of the things that's interesting is he's asking the right question, which is, am I free to go, right? It's not clear to me that he's forcing an answer from them. They don't want to answer because I think that they know that he actually is free to go. So they don't want to violate his rights by telling him explicitly that he's not free to go. They're putting him in a situation where he can test, he can start to walk away, and then if they jump on his back, they're like, we never said you're free to go. So I don't like the strategy that they're using, but if you watch enough of these videos, you see that this is how law enforcement often behaves.
subsection 3 says the provisions of 790.053 and 790.06 do not apply in the following instances. And then it gives you a list, A through I think it's J or K.
Yeah,
Running off,
we
like,
know.
Okay, so if
Here,
we know the...
Let me say this.
What?
Mike, out of respect, okay?
Uh-huh.
People call it in and they get nervous,
I
okay?
get it.
It's a normal thing. We make contact with you. Have
Yeah.
we offended you in any kind of way?
Well, no, it got people started
Well, I know.
coming up
I
on me,
understand, but
and
you
I'm
have
like,
to
look,
understand.
right here. This,
Okay.
how much
So,
more
Mike,
patriotic do I have to get?
I know.
Just
because
because I'm carrying.
And I appreciate that. But Mike, going back to you carrying
Okay.
firearms,
Uh-huh.
I have to do my due diligence
Okay, that's
and
fine.
make sure that you were allowed to be in possession of those firearms.
You don't need to know. The federal government has proven that my constitutional rights, until I've broken the law, you can't ask me for anything. 901-151. You know what 901-151 is?
So they're talking past each other. Right now, she wants to find out his name and find out if he's a convicted felon so that she can see if this law that he's citing applies to him. What's interesting to me as a lawyer is that I don't think she has a legitimate basis to question whether or not that law applies to him. Meaning, there's not been something that has happened which gives her the legal basis to start investigating him in any way. At least from my perspective, from what I know at this point.
It's going to be have I been suspected of a crime? Have I committed a crime? Or about to commit a crime?
How long
And-
have you been walking around?
I literally been here for 10, 15 minutes. I was fishing over here for 15, 20 minutes. And then I was like, hey, there's a little pond right over here up on the right-hand side, correct? And if I'm not wrong, then that's all I was doing, was just walking to that next pond.
Well, Mike, if you just, all intents and purposes, if you were a registered felon and not allowed to have those, you'd be committing
Until
a crime.
you commit me of a crime. Like, don't get me
Well,
wrong, I'm not saying felons should have...
Suspected is like a loose term, because if you were...
But that's the Florida law. And if I was breaking the law and and you found out I'm a felon with firearms, which I'm not. I don't know how many felons just walk around with this kind of flag, AR,
I get
a
you.
Glock. Where's the problem?
The problem is that people
You don't-
that live
I
in
get
Stanford
the-
are
Hey,
calling in because they're
tell them-
nervous, they're uncomfortable.
I get it.
Okay, she's wrong. This police officer is wrong, and he's right. Just because someone calls in and says, I'm uncomfortable, that's not reasonable suspicion that he is a felon. And because they don't have reasonable suspicion, they can't stop him. They can't ask him questions. They can't ask for his ID. They're violating his rights. They know it. I think they know it. Someone in their department knows it, even if they don't know it. He's right. They don't have a basis for interviewing him at all.
Where are we at? I'm not trying. I have no ill will towards anybody. I have no ill will towards nobody. If you watch any one of the 400 plus videos I have on YouTube, I always try to show things in a good light, bad light, negative light, however it comes at me. I respect the law, and I try to respect law enforcement. And at this point, you understand the law, so where are we at? If you want to respect my right, then am I free to go?
Okay, he is detained. His rights are now being violated. I appreciate her for finally answering the question straight up. He's not free to go. That's illegal. Now, I understand where they're coming from, and here's why. If this guy is some kind of crazy killer, and like 5 minutes after this stop, he opens fire and shoots a bunch of people, you know who's gonna get sued? This police department, because they interacted with him but didn't detain him. They will get sued for that. And if he did open fire and killed a bunch of people, that would create a very, very potentially expensive outcome for the police department. So she's wrong, but I know why she's doing what she's doing.
Please call. I want your sergeant, and I want you to
called him and
I want you to get your state attorney on this. And if they want to prosecute a guy that is clearly telling you that he's going fishing and has been fishing, because I have video of me fishing directly over there, and then I'm telling you I'm going to fishing to a pond that you are sitting there nodding to, that is right down here. So, what law have I broken?
See, he's caught them in his net. They want to ascertain whether or not he's a felon, and he won't let them do it. But he has a right to not let them do it, actually.
I'm sorry, man. What was your name? Very respectful. Thank you. Appreciate that.
This guy moves around a lot. It's almost like he's bobbing around a little.
You're going to stop that car? I think that might have been against the law. Anybody that's in the crosswalk in the state of Florida, the people have to stop for them in the crosswalk. Yes or no, ma'am? Oh, I know. You're smiling because guess what? Did you know there's actually a statute for harassing fishermen and hunters? Did you know that? Well, there is. And right now, where are we at? I'm trying to tell you.
We're waiting for my sergeant. You requested him, correct?
Well, tell him he can meet me where I'm going fishing. Because I'm doing something lawful.
That's actually a reasonable compromise. They should go with him.
I'm just talking because the sergeant's coming.
Right. I get the sergeant's coming. I'm just saying, why am I not free to go? Because it seems like everybody is under the same understanding that I'm lawfully allowed to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But we just can't seem to get past the fact that.
But you wanted a sergeant here.
No, that is a manipulation of what he said. He actually wants to go. He wants the sergeant so that he can go. It is not a true statement to say that he's asked for the sergeant to come and that he's consented to wait until the sergeant gets there. Since the time he said, get me your sergeant, he has repeatedly asked, am I free to go? So they're lying when they do that. The other problem with what they're trying to do where they say, oh, well, maybe you're a felon, or maybe you don't have a right to carry this, or maybe you're just meandering and you're not actually fishing, is they might have a suspicion, but they don't have a reasonable suspicion. They're making this up. And I get it. They got some crazy frantic phone calls at 911 and they want people to feel better about their situation. But this guy is within his rights to do what he's doing. And if they don't like it, they should talk to their lawmakers about criminalizing this sort of behavior, because this guy is not acting under the Second Amendment. He's acting under a specific Florida statute, which gives him the right to do this. It's far more expansive than the Second Amendment.
What's happening, man?
What up, dude?
Are you teaching us how to do our job?
I'm not telling you how to do your job.
I said teaching us how.
No, well, I mean, I guess if this is your first time with it, I guess I am teaching, but I'm not.
You're fishing, hunting?
I was fishing over here before they stopped me 10 minutes ago, but I was fishing there for about 15, 20 minutes, and there's a pond just up here to the right-hand side that I was walking back to.
I think that one says no fishing, so be careful there.
So if it says no fishing, I'll just turn around and go back to fishing. I look at a Google map and I'm looking, oh, there's a body of water. I'm going to go to that body of water. And the second I see no fishing, I turn my butt around because the second I engage in fishing,
Sergeant's business is going to take him a little bit. So if you want to go,
all right, I'm going to go fishing right over here. I'm going to go because you're telling me there's possibly a no fishing sign, and I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I think it is, but anyway,
I'm not
fishing.
from here. I'm going to go right over here, and if you want to come see me, I'll be right over. I'm going to be here for maybe like 30, 40, an hour at most. It's hot. It's humid. It's nasty out today.
And I know that just everybody's going to be scared because you're out here. Anybody's walking up and down here. And I know
I've said nothing but hi to people, Like, I'm a friendly guy. Just because I have a gun, that's
just a friendly guy covered up in an
Guess what?
AR-15 and some other guns.
Other than that, am I free to go or am I free to stay? See you later.
Oh, they let him go.
Need him to still come down here or no?
If there's an issue, if there's some kind of issue that transpires and you need to come talk to me, I'll be over. I don't need him unless there's another issue. All right?
Go, right? You take care.
See you later.
Woo! Made it out. Okay, so here's what we got. Florida has enacted a law which makes some very specific provisions which kind of delineate rights under the Second Amendment, right? You have this open carry while you're fishing or hunting. This guy knows his rights and, he's making a show of it, and I guess that's good. The police officers, they want people to feel safe. They really don't know, and I don't really criticize the police for this too much. The criminal law is extensive. They're not geniuses. They don't have an iPad where they can just pull up every law. Sometimes it takes them a little while, but they did violate this guy's rights by not letting him go when he asked to be released. They don't have a reasonable suspicion to detain him. And when they keep him, they violated his rights. Now, sure, you can say, hey, it's only 10 or 15 minutes or 20 minutes or however long it was. But the reality is they don't have a basis to suspect that he's committing a crime if when they see him, he's loaded up for fishing and he has the weapons on him. It's not legit by the cops to say, well, we want to find out if you're a felon. They only would have a reasonable suspicion to do that investigation if they saw him acting in a felonious way or he looked like someone that they knew to be a felon. They don't have a basis to say, well, we're just going to keep you until we find out that you're not a felon. That's guilty until proven innocent, and that's not how it works in America. But I would love to know what you guys thought about today's video. I'd like to know down in the comments if you like this guy's approach to the Second Amendment. And don't forget to check out these reaction videos right after. I'll be back soon with more reactions. See ya.
Big verdict.